Dear Warren, dear Charlie, I'm Lawrence from Germany, and in my home country, you two are regarded as role models for integrity. And at Berkshire, its culture is its most important competitive edge. Hence my question, how can we, as outside investors, judge the state of Berkshire's culture long after you departed from the company?
I think it's fair that you do, come with a questioning mind to the culture, post me and Charlie. But I think you're going to be very. I don't think you should be surprised, but I think you will be very pleased with the outcome. The culture. I think Berkshire's culture runs as deep as any large company could be in the world. It's interesting you're from Germany because just 3 or 4 days ago, we closed on a transaction with a woman named Mrs. Louis in Germany, and she and her husband had built a business over 35 years. They'd spent developing this business of retail shops dealing with motorcycle owners, and lovingly had built this business. Her husband died a couple years ago, and Mrs. Louis in Germany, it came about in sort of a roundabout way, but she wanted to sell to Berkshire Hathaway. And that would not have been the case 30 or 40 years ago. So it's a vital part of Berkshire to have a clearly defined, deeply embedded culture that pervades the parent company, the subsidiary companies. It's even reflected in our shareholders. And when you have 97% of the shareholders vote and say we don't want a dividend, I don't think there's another company like that in the world. So we have our directors sign on for it, and there again, we behave consistently. Instead of having a bunch of directors who love to be a director because they'd like to get $200,000 or $300,000 a year for showing up 4 times a year, we have directors who look at it as a great opportunity for stewardship and who want their ownership and have their ownership represented by buying stock in the market exactly like you do. So we try to make clear and define that culture in every way possible, and it's gotten reinforced over the years to an extreme degree. People who join us believe in it. People who shun us don't believe in it. So it's self-reinforcing, and I think it's a virtual certainty to continue and to become even stronger, because once Charlie and I aren't around, it will be so clear that it's not the force of personality, but it's institutionalized, that nobody will doubt that it will really continue for decades and decades and decades to come. Charlie?
Well, as I said in the annual report, I think Berkshire's going to do fine after we're gone. In fact, it'll do a lot better in dollars, but percentage-wise, it will never gain at the rate we did in the early years. And that's all right. There's worse tragedies in life than having Berkshire's assets and have the growth rate slow a little.
Name one.
Warren, I have one not very far ahead.
Okay. Andrew? I should say that culture is everything at Berkshire. And if you run into a terrible culture, it's, the Solomon thing was up there on the screen, and it would be hard to turn Solomon into a Berkshire. I don't think we could have done it, Charlie.
I don't think anybody's ever done it on Wall Street.
It's a different world, and that doesn't mean that Berkshire is a monastery by any means, but it does mean that I can guarantee you that Charlie and I and a great many of our managers are more concerned, and Kerry Silva, who put this meeting together and everything, they are more concerned about getting a good job done for Berkshire than what they get out of it themselves. And it's great to work around people like that.